Hello everyone, welcome back to Tony Sports Games for episode 2 of my Admiral Adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed the first video. Hope you're also checking out the other guys' videos. When I have a definite roster on who all is doing these videos besides myself, I'm definitely going to be plugging them. I'm sure you can see about this series once we get it ready to go on the Wolverine Studios Discord, which is linked on my channel, as well as on the Wolverine Studios forums. I'm sure they'll be sharing this as well. So I hope you guys are following along with my adventure, and all the other guys are doing this as well. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I already can't wait to watch these other guys' episodes to see how we approach some things the same and some things different. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I wanted to touch a little bit more on our season setup in this second episode. A couple things I maybe forgot to share on the first, and of course I want to talk about our initial recruiting board setup, and then I want to talk about our Week 1 game plan for our game against the 17th ranked Wisconsin Weasels on the road in Madison. I guess I could go through these too. I did not share these here, but from our training camp, of course, this guy was a little bit of a disappointment. This guy had our best gains in training camp, Owen Kramer. He had quite a nice training camp. That's why he's close to the top of the depth chart on some of my formations for linebacker to start the year. Of course, he gained 5 tackling, 4 endurance, 3 speed, and 1 intelligence. Really a pretty monster training camp, especially when you consider the lack of elite training attributes that my staff had. So this was, let me just take a look at this real quick because I did not show this in the last episode. Where are we? Nashville. It's a little weird not playing with the real world mod. That's why you're seeing the other team names here. But Kramer had the best games. Thomas had an excellent camp. Part of what I was probably going to do it anyway, but increased a little bit in hands. 3 tackling, that's very nice for a strong safety. Of course, we ended up deciding to start him at strong safety and move my other excellent strong safety to linebacker. So that's a look at how we did in training camp. This was my setup for training camp. I put everybody on a 22 schedule. Now, I'm not pushing anything past 22 because I didn't expect large gains because my staff are pretty terrible at training. So I kind of decided before training camp to go with Covert. I put him as the head coach focus just to try to squeeze a couple extra points, but we didn't get a darn thing. We didn't get anything there. That might have been a mistake. Offensive coordinator, we focused on our starting running back, David Outlaw. Gained 1 in intelligence, nothing to write home about there. And defensive coordinator, we focused on this Patrick Blanco. Where are you, Patrick? My very rotund nose tackle. Going to be playing a large role for us this year in the middle, especially in 3 lineman sets on defense. And he didn't gain anything. So we didn't get much out of our coaches here. That could have been partly on me, but I didn't go too crazy with the training schedules. I put basically some guys on. I put the stupid guys on intelligence, just 7 points in intelligence. I put the positional guys on 7 points in positional. Athletic, 7 in athletic. Offensive line, I did positional and physical. And physical, I had 7 in physical. So that's what I did for training camps. Now, in the last episode, we took a look at the roster. We looked a little bit at our depth charts. I realized I didn't show all of them, so let me just go through the rest of them here. So for passing, I set up 2 depth charts to start here, both with Covert at quarterback. I rotated out 1 receiver here between Tyler Way and Miles Conti just to give both these guys some snaps. Maybe Miles is better than I think. I just wasn't too impressed just because of the overall rating, but we'll get him some snaps, see how he performs. All my sets I had Robinson starting, but in formations where I throw it to the running back, I did put together an offensive playbook. I'll show you in a second here. I'm going to use the speed back, Guajardo, and then some formations where the running back's blocking, we're using David Outlaw. For power running plays, this is going to be our I formation, pro set, I think 2 tight end, jumbo, wishbone, all that. We're starting with Outlaw in the first string. Second string, I am going with this guy, Kitchen, a good overall player. And he may earn more playing time as the season goes on. Elite agility, good speed. He's a solid player. I like the power running that Outlaw brings to the table. If my assumption proves correct about this left guard, center, right tackle combo being elite run blockers, especially inside run blockers, I think Outlaw profiles to work better with that. But if we go along through the season, the outside run game is working better, we may use Mr. Kitchen more. As you can see, I feel highly enough about him as just kind of an overall runner that I'm going to have him as the primary backup for both inside and outside runs. Going to start Guajardo in outside run formations just to try to take advantage of some of his blazing speed. But that's the way the depth charts look on offense. For special teams, kicking and punting was a pretty easy decision. For our kick returners and punt returners, went with Faber, good speed and agility. In one of the spots, Guajardo has the fastest, just straight line speed, so I definitely wanted to have him in there. And then we've got some good athletes at corner to kind of fill out those positions, so we'll see how that goes. And as far as our strategy goes, for week 1, we're playing the Wisconsin Weasels. As I look at this roster and staff, I see their offense presents a lot of challenges. Obviously, I don't know for sure what they're going to do at the beginning of the year, but if I look at the head coach, Elmer Flores, he runs a run-first vertical hybrid offense. He likes inside running. He likes a 5-2 hybrid defense. The offensive coordinator also likes to run a run-first vertical offense. Now, instead of inside running, he likes running from 3 wide receiver sets. And their defensive coordinator runs a 5-2 hybrid, just like the head coach, 5-2 hybrid. So that's what we got from a schematics perspective. When we look at their players here, we've got a couple very nice safeties. This free safety is an excellent player. Makes me even more glad that for this game we're not just going to be chucking it deep down the field and challenging this guy. We're going to kind of focus up front. Strong safety as well, so good on the back end for the Wisconsin defense. On offense, I don't know for sure which quarterback they're going to play. They've got several different options here. They have this guy is a clutch QB, looks like a very good thrower of the football, good intangibles. Pat Wynn, Anthony Bailey, a little bit more of a multifaceted player. A little faster, probably not exactly a dual threat, but very good accuracy, probably an elite short passer, decent intelligence, decent arm. And then Cardona, pretty good arm, elite intelligence, and accuracy. So, we'll see which one they play the most. Running back, they have 2. I mean, really, they have 4 nice running backs here. This guy, very good at catching out of the backfield, as illustrated by the all-purpose running back trait. And if we look at their ratings, we've got this guy, 80 strength, 82 agility, 96 speed, Gary Davidson. I have to imagine he's going to be touching the ball a ton. Looks like a great player. We've got another pretty strong running back, very agile, decent speed in Mays. John Freed, a little more of a scat back. agility, speed, and even Roper here. Elite agility, decent speed, very good hands. So they have a lot of threats at the running back position. If we look at tight end, they've got, a guy with pretty good hands, not so great speed, decent strength, very good agility. They've got a guy, and this is Fry, 6'5", 236. Let's see, this guy has a receiving tight end trait, but, decent player. They've got maybe not great blocking tight ends for what it's worth. And then at receiver, a lot of threats here at receiver as well. Kerry Washington, 91 speed, 92 hands, 82 agility. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Looks like a really good player. They have Joseph Dahl, a senior, 6'3", 210. Great agility, great speed, pretty good hands. He's 6'3". He's not super competitive, but very good player also. They've got this guy, Evans, as well. He's got kind of more, he's got agility and hands. Speed is just decent. He's very, very small. So I don't know, that guy could sneak up on us. And then this guy as well, William Steed, very good speed, very good hands, decent agility. So a lot of threats on offense. A lot of threats on offense for sure. Got a couple guys down. Keep an eye on this guy in kick returns. I don't know if they'll put him in just because he's a return specialist, but let's take a look at all the defense together. It looks like their strength is the back end of this defense. So we've got a couple corners here, not blazing fast, but good rounded out players. Some linebackers. It does look like their front. Let's look at their starters. Yeah. Their weakness, you see, secondary, linebackers. Go all the way here, defensive end, but these are still pretty good players. We got defensive end here. He's decently strong, not super fast. A couple coverage linebackers. So I do think looking at this defense, not knowing what they're going to play, but I think our offensive game plan has a chance to work. We're going to look to run, be physical, run up the middle especially. We're going to mix in some outside runs too. I'm really worried about their offense though. It looks like they have a lot of weapons, a lot of explosiveness, good running backs, good receivers. They're going to be a real challenge for us. So on defense, I am going to let Edward Stone, this might bite me, but I don't know anything yet about how this defense is going to perform. I would like to get some data in some different sets and see. So I'm going to trust him to run kind of the early downs. I've put together a playbook for third and fourth downs. I don't want to get caught in a really bad call in an important situation. So with my three corners that I like a lot, of course we got to have some run plays in here too, but you see we're going to run some dime press plays. In fact, I might just bump these up. I will trust him to call something that has some running. I'm also worried about their X receiver. So I think in this situation, we're going to look at, we have another double X. We have an X bracket. So we're going to try to focus that this first game. But we've got some, this is what we're working with for third and fourth downs. We'll see how this works. I'm very concerned about the defense. It is not my strong suit. Looking forward to see how some of the other guys approach it, but that's what we have to work with here. Now, let's look at our recruiting. Let me get my paper here. How I initially set up my board. And you guys might call me crazy, and maybe I am crazy. But this is what I have done with my initial recruiting board here. This might be the biggest one I've ever set up. Of course, I have already hidden some guys, but I have 176 targets right now on my target list. It's a gigantic number. I know. It's going to cause me a lot of headache early in the season because I'm going to have to whittle these way down. Here's what I assessed our recruiting needs as. First of all, most importantly, we need to find the quarterback of the future for the Nashville Admirals here. Both my quarterbacks that I would be choosing between to start this year are fifth-year seniors. Neither one of them will be back, whether we stick with Covert all year or if, Dunn? I can't remember his name, but if the pocket passer guy ends up playing more, they will both be gone. So we are targeting a whole bunch of quarterbacks. I also think we need at least one running back. We have some running backs. I have a couple speed guys coming back. Would like to get a little bit more of a power runner to replace Donald if possible. Trying to get a fullback. I have bodies at the receiver position, but nobody that's really that good. So we're going to try to recruit at least one, if not two, wide receivers with some quality to them. I don't just need bodies, I need high quality. Guards, I need at least one, hopefully two run blockers. Both my starting pass blocking guards should be back, but we need to address the run blocking. Tackle is the opposite. My run blocking tackles should be back. I need two pass blocking tackles. Center, I really need a run blocking center. I wouldn't mind also getting someone that can pass block, so maybe that's one player, maybe it ends up being two players. I guess I should show you as I go through here. So we've got 32 quarterbacks on the target list to start out. It's a ridiculous number. I will trim it down quickly, but a lot. 14 running backs, 4 fullbacks, 11 tight ends, 15 receivers, 12 guards, only 7 tackles. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully we make some headway with at least 1 or 2 of these guys soon. You see we have some guys with some interest already. 9 centers. I basically just added punters that were already interested in my school. I'm not going to spend a lot on these guys. We're just going to see if any of them are any good. If not, we will cut bait very quickly. Same thing with kicker here. Have some guys that are interested already. We'll take a quick look. A couple weeks. If there's nothing worth having there, we will move on quite quickly. Defensive tackle. Need a defensive tackle. If I was playing multiple seasons with this team, I would want another nose tackle, especially if we continue to run a similar scheme. So I kind of focused on those types of players in filling up the board. Defensive end. I didn't write down as a need, but we had quite a few pretty high quality defensive ends kind of close by, so I wanted to at least throw some of these guys on the board. You can see these guys are right in my own backyard, and I like some of the projections here. So we'll take a look at a few of these guys. If we end up moving off some of them quickly, we will do that. Linebacker, I need 2 or 3 linebackers. I'm graduating several. It says I only need 1, but I would like to get more than that because my overall quality at the position is not extremely high. So we have 14 linebackers on the board. Only 6 corners on my board right now. I need at least 2 corners. So this is one position that we may add to. I didn't see a lot in my area. And then, let's see, I need at least 1 strong safety. So we have 8 of those guys on the board, and I have a whole bunch of free safeties. Now, some of these guys, if they're fast and agile, I could convert to corner. These are just high-quality players, a lot of them with good speed that are close to my area or were already interested or in a pipeline state. So that's how I filled my board. How I arrived at this number, I went to all players. I sorted by interest. I added 62 from this list right here. I went through the whole list of players that already have interest in my school, and I added anyone, even some guys that are very low rated. I added anyone that looked like they might have some good traits. I don't always do this, but what the heck, why not? If we have guys that are volunteering, even if there are some low-rated players, if I think there could be something there, why wouldn't I at least take a look at these guys? So I'm definitely doing that. Like, look at this guy right here, Carlton Page. He's barely in the top 1800. However, when I looked at this guy, it mentions speed, it mentions work ethic. He has a decent physique grade. Not in love with everything here, but we'll at least take a look. And these lower guys, we'll cut these guys off the list real quick if there's not something there. But that's how I arrived at that. The rest of the recruiting board, I went by my area, 200, 300, 500 miles. And then I looked at my other pipeline states, which I didn't really have a lot of good ones to pull from, but I at least checked all these states. Kentucky's close to me anyway, but I checked these states and we pulled a handful of guys from some of these states as well. So we have a very large recruiting board. I have a lot of work to do to work through this in the first few weeks of the season. I will, of course, try to trim this down to a manageable number very quickly. As you can see, I've already set up my week 1 outreaches. I went ahead and offered out all of my scholarships. According to the email I got for recruiting season, they felt like I can reach better 3-star recruits. So to me, that says I can probably recruit some 4-stars. The one guy, of course, I'm most excited about, if you take a look here, when I looked at who was interested, this guy popped up right away. So this guy is the first guy I offered a scholarship to. As you see, even though we're on the road, I can't get as big a boost from this. I'm going to try to just blow this guy out of the water. We're going to try to get him to commit by week 4 or 5, and hopefully we can do that. Now, he already has interest. We're going to just try to lock down a 5-star recruit right out of the gate. That would be huge for our recruiting class. He's a corner, which I need badly. He's fast, and he's smart. Sounds good to me. Also has A+ technique, so maybe he has great hands. I don't know. So that's kind of the guy we're most excited about up front here. If you also look down, of course, we offered a lot of these guys up towards the top of the board. We're going to be evaluating these quarterbacks quickly to see who has really what it takes to be a future face of the program type player. Of course, I offered this guy a scholarship right off the bat as well. I really like that he has pass blocking skills, which is what I want. He's loaded with intangibles. He is smart. Don't know yet how the strength will come back, but if he's really skilled and decently athletic and smart, I'm okay with a little bit subpar strength rating. So that's where we're at to start here for recruiting. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Hopefully I didn't neglect anything that should have been covered over the first couple episodes here, but brings us up to date on where we're at right now. So as far as how many videos I'm going to make, obviously we've made 2 just to get up to week 1 here. 1 to more focus on my team evaluation, and the second one has talked a little bit about our strategy and where we're starting off for recruiting. I will make at least a couple more videos throughout the season, but I think we'll try to advance a couple weeks at a time. I'll fill you guys in from time to time on how our results are coming along in the games. And of course, especially these first couple weeks of the season, I'll be working really hard to trim this recruiting list down to a more manageable number so we can really start zeroing in on some targets and try to start collecting the best recruiting class we possibly can. So, wish us luck. Tough first game of the year at Wisconsin. This is what we're working with here. I am most concerned about the run game. Also, both their head coach and offensive coordinator say they run a run-based or run-focused offense. So I'm going to take some risks here. Usually I would leave all this alone the first couple weeks of the season. I don't know if we can afford to do that. On paper, I think Wisconsin looks like a very strong opponent, so we're going to risk it a little bit We are going to try to shut down this run game. I'm going to trust my secondary, which I think is pretty talented on the back end. Hopefully we can limit this 96 speed Davidson from busting the game wide open. And hopefully we can come out with a win, start the year off. You know, we're going to trust our offensive game plan. We're going to try to push them around. We're going to try to control the early downs, stay in third and manageable. When we do look to throw deep, if nothing's open, I'm going to hope that Covert scrambles a decent amount. And, you know, hopefully Guajardo can maybe bust a couple game-breaking plays for us. And we're going to try to come out with a win. So, wish us luck in week 1. I will advance a couple weeks here and work through some results, trimming down the playbook, and update you in a couple weeks. And we'll see how it goes. I will see you guys here on the next video.